Now, if you're selling username as a privacy feature, then it is foolish to offer the same name as Instagram handle as your WhatsApp handle, because if I'm very, very conscious, I'll say, okay, this is Jiten's is my username, and I will not give you my number. Very second, people will go and search the same username on Instagram and figure out my other social network and family and stuff. So, this is obviously a double-edged sword. This is nothing but a business gimmick to monetize.
I have a username, password. I put it in, but because of two-factor authentication, an OTP will come to me on my number or my WhatsApp. WhatsApp seems to be doing the exact opposite. While the world wants to bundle as a function of abundant caution your number with your account, WhatsApp wants to do the exact opposite.
And here I would say we do not have a digital competition bill, we don't have a digital markets act, we don't have a digital services act. We have none of these modern legal instruments which are present in different forms in various countries. The Data Protection Act is not going to gain enforcement till next year. These features are already being launched.
Hello and welcome. You're watching me, Sanket Upadhyay, on The Federal. The show is called AI with Sanket. This is the AI of news, because news in India today requires not artificial but analytical intelligence. WhatsApp, the very famous messaging app which exists in all our phones. Actually, you have to be living under a rock not to know what WhatsApp is. We all know, we all use it. So this app has now introduced a new feature where you can book your username and eliminate the need of binding your phone number with the WhatsApp account. Which means you will not have to, say for instance, if somebody were to ask you, what's your number so that I can contact you on WhatsApp, you can just say, forget number, take this username, and then you can connect with me. Now, it sounds very nice. Added feature, you don't have to share your number. There will be less fraud. Good step in the right direction, greater privacy. But is it really a step towards greater privacy? Or will this create a situation, as Ankur Warikoo has mentioned in his tweet, where there will be more fraudsters emboldened with the fact that now they don't even need to procure a number. They can just procure a fake username and bind it in an impersonation exercise. He says that what if somebody were to create usernames called Ankur Warikoo _ or Ankur.Warikoo or A Warikoo, different variations, and then present to the world as if that person is the impersonator is the real deal. What will WhatsApp have to say about challenges like these? Picture a live scenario where an elderly is getting a call on WhatsApp which says Mumbai Crime Branch or Chennai Crime Branch. We all know those fraud calls from Pakistani numbers. Now there will be no number. It will just say Mumbai.Crime Branch, and people will get confused. Is this new feature a greater step towards privacy or a nightmare in terms of cybersecurity? We discuss. All right, joining us right now on this very, very important discussion, because ladies and gentlemen, everyone uses WhatsApp. Everyone does. I was about to say Facebook, but it's the same family, right? Now, if there is a username feature, is it a step towards privacy? Is it a step towards safety and security, and is it a unique tool? Or is this a step away from privacy where there will be greater cybersecurity concerns? I think that is the raging debate which is going on the internet right now as far as WhatsApp username is concerned. My two guests this evening, Jitin Jain, he's a cybersecurity expert, and Apar Gupta, lawyer and founder, director of Internet Freedom Foundation. I want to begin with you, Apar, first. Yes. How do you look at WhatsApp username feature? It's not active yet, but they've rolled out a sort of a beta version where you can block your username and then it will be activated at a later date.
So the way I look at this feature is that it is a decoupling from sharing your phone number, and the phone number is also an identifier which is commonly used across services. So my mobile phone number with which I sign up for WhatsApp is no longer essential to be shared. If somebody wants to message me on WhatsApp, so I can just share a alphanumeric handle. Let's say my name is Apar Gupta and my WhatsApp handle is Apar Gupta. I don't need to give out my phone number. To some extent, that does safeguard a WhatsApp user's privacy, but that is only a small amount of privacy which is available, because there are also greater concerns which emerge from it. Number one, it does not save you from any kind of profiling which is done by WhatsApp and Meta group companies. In fact, if you sign up for the feature right now, you try to reserve your name, it is prompting you to link your Instagram account with your WhatsApp. And it is saying that, would you like to reserve the same name or the handle which you have on your Instagram account with your WhatsApp account? So that justification that it will somehow be a privacy feature or a safety security feature may not apply for a lot of people, because let's also remember that a lot of people now have Instagram accounts, and this prompt will make them bundle their WhatsApp account with the Instagram account which they already have.
Yes, so for a company as huge as Meta, Facebook, since they own pretty much most of these big platforms, this seems to be some sort of a, back in the day when you had PAN linking with Aadhaar, this linking with that. This is like a this is like a big tech version of all the linking happening together. But Jitin, just coming back to that main point of concern, I would like to draw your attention to this tweet by Ankur Variku. And what Mr. Ankur Variku's concern was that right now, suppose if my username is Ankur Variku, and there is another person who has a username called A Variku or Variku A or A underscore Variku, Ankur underscore Variku. All these are options available. And if somebody can impersonate with Ankur Variku's face and then demand something on WhatsApp, he said that I had a really tough time getting Meta to remove my fake ads where I seem to be promoting something which I never promoted. So Meta has never been successful in doing that. How do you ensure that you will not give brand new entry to fraudsters? Let me extend this argument, Jitin. What about all those mothers and fathers and the elderly who get calls from +92 number saying, I'm calling from Mumbai crime branch and I'm calling from Delhi crime branch and your son has been caught? Now there will be no need for there to be any number +91 or +92. It will just say Mumbai crime branch or Delhi crime branch.
Look, Sanket, privacy has always been a double-edged sword. And WhatsApp is not the first app to offer this feature. You have Signal and Telegram already doing it. But you have to keep in mind that Telegram and Signal are not used in public scale by common people. They are mostly used by people who are security conscious, who have got some privacy issues, and who are very, very strict about the privacy. So they use that feature where you can use a username, you don't have to share your number and stuff. But the issue is WhatsApp is one of the most popular platforms. 80% of the total instant messaging users use WhatsApp. Now, if WhatsApp makes a username available, obviously, you could say that, it is good because you don't have to share your personal mobile number with people randomly when you give them your WhatsApp number for some contacts for travel bookings and all. That's great. So in a way, it's a good feature. But if you look at the larger perspective, obviously, like any other app, it will give rise to the risk of impersonation. It will reduce the risk of sharing a number, but will increase the threat surface of fraudsters to come and impersonate anyone, be it a celebrity or be it a police department or anyone, and ask for money. Now they would also, as Ankur rightly said, there will be issues of name squatting. People will reserve Aishwarya _ Rai, Amitabh Bachchan, but that has always been a problem with Facebook, Instagram, or any other social media platform. For email also, anybody can create Sanket Upadhyay 2@gmail.com or Sanket _Upadhyay. All those tips and tricks people and fraudsters have been using in the past. So this thing will come on WhatsApp also. But if you look at overall thing, WhatsApp is not doing it for the sake of privacy. There is a larger game plan to monetize WhatsApp. Meta is losing revenue. They invested in this metaverse and AI. Those investments are gone for a toss. They are indulging in mass layoffs. So how do you then monetize assets like WhatsApp? So once this business of impersonation and name squatting starts, then they'll come up with a picture that, oh, you pay us 100 rupees per month, we'll give you a blue or verified tick or this tick. All those things will start. So you create a problem and then charge money to solve it. I mean, if there's an intent, they could do it right away today, that if you're preserving the same name as your Instagram handle or WhatsApp or something on your KYC document, we'll give it free of cost, but that will never happen. They will charge money for it. Second, now, if you're selling username as a privacy feature, then it is foolish to offer the same name as Instagram handle as your WhatsApp handle, because if I'm very, very conscious, I'll say, okay, this is my username, and I will not give you a number. Very second, people will go and search the same username on Instagram and figure out my other social network and family and stuff. So, this is obviously a double-edged sword. This is nothing but a business gimmick to monetize. They are just trying to catch up with Signal, with WhatsApp. They're also trying to comply with the law. They're trying to stay within the jurisdiction of different countries. So, do not look at it at a pure lens of privacy. Look at it as a lens of monetization of WhatsApp.
I think that's a significant point. Apart, this is not the first time that WhatsApp has intended to monetize. Now, there will be some people who would argue, and you and I are in touch with them and familiar with the argument that it's a private limited company. It is a for-profit company. So if it wants to make money, it exists to make money. So what is the great brouhaha about? But Apar, the problem is the promises that Facebook made while acquiring WhatsApp versus what they did post at the acquisition. And this seems to be a step in continuation.
Yes. So the first thing is that I have always stated that Meta is a private limited company. It is a company, it's a publicly listed company actually. So it is under a duty actually, as per its entity structure, of returning shareholder value and showing revenue which increases over a period of time, not only customer acquisition. And that argument does not take away from any kind of regulatory compliance which is necessary, right? So companies exist to make money, but they have to make it within the boundaries of the law. The law, as it stands today, does not prevent them from rolling out this feature. However, the privacy concerns which do emerge have already been, to some extent, the competition law concerns which do emerge, because as Jitin was saying, that WhatsApp is a dominant service provider in India for any kind of internet messaging. There is actually no opt-out from WhatsApp. There is no way you can conduct yourself having a smartphone without WhatsApp, without forsaking a huge amount of daily function, given that friends, family, businesses, even service providers today rely on WhatsApp to service you one-time passwords or OTPs, which is quite often the case, right? So WhatsApp is a default which is present in most smartphones today. Given that it is a publicly listed company which wants to derive profit, but there is also a it has features of a common public utility which are present. There is a need for scrutiny which does emerge. And here I'd like to just raise the issue of the 2021 privacy policy, in which certain promises were made when WhatsApp was first launched. It will always be free. Your data is always private. We will never share it with anyone. And subsequent to its sale and acquisition by Meta Platforms, actually, we have noticed that in the 2021 policy, it started sharing all of your data, which is available on WhatsApp, which is not the message data, but everything else, which is also a whole deal of information. Your name, your sign-up name, your telephone number, the groups you're part of, the name of those groups, when you send those messages, who gets those messages, any outbound links, and if you're backing up your chat history, let's say, to a server to which there is also some amount of access available, possibly that can also lead to training data. And now what we are noticing is that these product features in WhatsApp are also being bundled with Instagram, with other meta service providers, right? So the profiling which will increase of a person, and how WhatsApp will change from a purely messaging platform to a commercial product service kind of catalog, will increase over a period of time. right? So I would say that it's not only like Signal or Telegram or catching up like them. Signal has a very different product functionality when it does offer you a username in lieu of a telephone number, even though both are coupled, right? In Signal, you do not have business accounts. In Signal, you do not have the kind of businesses reaching out with one-time passwords, promotions. I can just tell you from my experience, I purchased a car 3 years ago. It's coming up for insurance renewal, and for some reason, the amount of WhatsApp spam I'm facing is incessant, right? And now, if my Instagram account is also having the same username as my WhatsApp username, and that bundling is there, there's a greater degree of data which is not only available with Meta, but can potentially also be then made available with third-party advertisers. So I would say that people who are reserving this as real estate are actually viewing it from the right perspective, that WhatsApp is turning from a messaging platform to a commercial mall.
Now, Jitin, this is very significant that you've converted Meta as a complete shopping complex in a mall where you've got these various shops and they're all communicating with each other, bypassing certain safety features because it will all be internal communication. It will no longer be external communication, right? Jitin, just coming back to and trying to understand this very important point. As a cybersecurity expert, you tell me, as an added safety feature, whether it is Gmail or any other platform, there is a concept called two-factor authentication, 2FA. And one of the ways you can two-factor authenticate is by putting in your phone number. That every time somebody logs in, there will be an OTP and then I will be able to log in. So even if I have a username, let's just take an example of Instagram. I have a username, password, I put it in, but because of two-factor authentication, an OTP will come to me on my number or my WhatsApp. WhatsApp seems to be doing the exact opposite. While the world wants to bundle as a function of abundant caution your number with your account, WhatsApp wants to do the exact opposite.
नहीं उसमें ऐसा नहीं है. For that you have to give it to them. They also have a two-factor authentication there. It's slightly different. It's a one-time code which you have to remember to make WhatsApp completely encrypted, so that if your WhatsApp account is stolen by someone, so someone, even after getting OTP, unless and until they know that code or a key, will not be able to log into your WhatsApp account. So that feature is already there. You have to give it to them. But look, you have to understand that it is like police ki checking kaun karega. As Appa rightly said, WhatsApp is not now an instant messaging platform. You are looking at all two-factor authentication, OTPs coming in, all sort of certificates. Even your COVID certificate was coming on Aadhaar. Then you're looking at an app which is trying to somehow, replicate into a bigger super app like WeChat. So you are trying to bring in payments, and they've been struggling with payments from last 3 to 4 years. WhatsApp ultimately will have their financial history, their shopping habits. They're tying up with Reliance for those, I am forgetting the name of that, micro mall that you can order those groceries within WhatsApp and it will be delivered. So if you look at future, it'll be a super app. They already have video call, they have text. Very soon they might offer you email, and they're already connecting your WhatsApp profiles and your stories to Instagram and Facebook already. So first, Facebook integrated the stories and post business with Instagram. Then they have now also included WhatsApp. So if you post something on Instagram story, you can also just immediately share with WhatsApp. So see, all those financial data, your shopping history, your shopping habits, what you're liking, ultimately it will all be used to monetize WhatsApp, and that is how Meta will make money. And then this subscription model. So you pay 500 rupees to get a blue tick on Instagram, another 1,000 for Facebook. Maybe now you'll pay 200 for the WhatsApp, and maybe in the near future, as Appa rightly said, they'll say, okay, give us 1,000 rupees, we'll handle spam for you, because we are the one distributing and allowing you to be spammed, and then all those features will come in. But there's a larger debate that we do not have any regulator in India with some amount of teeth to rein in these big companies by creating some sort of new regulation. What we are seeing is that we are trying to find some mechanism to create some rules within existing law and try to hammer around different problems. So if there's a problem of deepfake, you come up with something here and there. You come up with 66A for blocking and 69A for BA for blocking and stuff. So we are more interested right now to we are firefighting by bringing in new rules. There is no regulator. So there is a new problem every day. Someday it is deepfake, someday is misuse of AI. Today, it is maybe sharing of your data. You could talk about, if it is not chats, whether metadata constitutes privacy, whether some sort of financial data if WhatsApp shares with Facebook, does that amount to your what does that amount to? So all those debates will happen, but ultimately you have to see the size and scale of the app, your dependency of your population on that app, your ability to read in on that app, then your capacity to offer some sort of safety mechanism for your citizens at large. So all those things are right now absent in India. Not only absent, there is a complete lack of technological thinking that how will you deal with the problems tomorrow. Today it is WhatsApp, tomorrow maybe it's some other company. For example, we saw Telegram being banned to control the NEET leaks. If somebody is hacking into some CBSE server trying to circulate, do you think that idiot will not have access to VPN? So, just to ensure that two people are not able to walk on the road, you put entire city on the curfew. Maybe they may have thought something, or there was some emergence. But then you have to think that if you did it once, how do you avoid it in the future? So that sort of debates are not happening in our society. We are seeing polarized debates where there is one set of people who are completely anti-government, whether they do anything right or wrong, and government has gone into a mode where feedback loop has completely gone absent. They're not willing to listen at all. So I think we need to start dialogue, maybe what was happening 10 years ago, that where you could discuss problems with open minds, come to some middle ground where you try and create a balance of privacy. And yesterday I heard someone saying a very beautiful line, that privacy and security are two sides of the railway track, and you have these policies and government which work as those slabs in between, so that patries idhar udhar na jaye. So right now hamare sath aisa ho gaya, we have railway tracks without any screws and nuts, and we are trying to just run some train on it somehow. So it'll be a problem in the future. So I think we have to come out of this firefighting approach to permanent fixes and regulatory fixes, not this rule-based fixes or temporary fixes by filing FIRs. किसी को सुनवाई कर दो, किसी को block कर दो, किसी को कुछ कर दो. That things will scale up now.
Okay, we also have Mr. Kanishk Gaur, CEO of Athenian Tech. Thank you very much, Kanishk. What do you think about this WhatsApp username feature? Our two guests here are greeting it with a certain degree of skepticism.
See, one initial problem, if someone else takes up the name instead of the original person, I think the message which is going out right now is that claim that name before someone else does. Right? That's one of the key parts. So if someone who's an impersonator takes up these names, that's going to be one issue which is going to be there. The second part, which is extremely important out there, is that the claim that people will not be impersonated with the use of this element which is being introduced. I don't think so that really holds right now, because your cyber criminals are extremely smart. They would find another way to change the identity. So I think that's going to be a key element which one will have to look into here. So claiming that the cyber scams are going to stop because there's a new feature which is introduced by WhatsApp and it will not be possible to impersonate people, and with the name you could just identify as yourself. It's a complete foolproof solution. I don't think so that really holds. So I would take this with a pinch of caution, to say that this is a mother pill to solve all the cyber problems, the digital arrest problems which are happening in this country, impersonation, scams which are happening. I don't think so that is really the case. Until and unless there is a verified mechanism of taking digital identity and verifying, where you upload a digital identity and validate it, which is done by a lot of other platforms, I don't think so something like this. It's more of a stopgap arrangement. So that's where I see things. There could be better solutions which could be built on top of it. So like when I'm outside India and I'm using certain apps where I'm trying to validate, they first validate my identity by taking either my passport, looking at it, then matching it to my facial biometric to see, am I the same person? That is the level of verification and validation which is required to prevent impersonation or identity scams on platforms, messaging platforms like WhatsApp at this point of time. So right now it is just maybe a little upgrade. That's where I see things happening.
We've discussed the problems enough. Let's go and take one full round of the solutions. Apar, we'll begin with you. You see, I'm sure you must have heard the story of Mr. Naresh Gujral. Even before WhatsApp launched this feature, a person impersonated him, and he has been a victim of a massive cyber fraud. I don't think this new feature is going to save the likes of Mr. Gujral.
I don't think so. This feature is aimed towards fraud prevention. In fact, given the ingenuity of people to use digital communication services to impersonate another person for their financial gain, illicit financial gain, I would imagine this results in a higher level and degree of financial fraud and crime. And while we can say that this feature itself is to blame, I do not think so that we should say that WhatsApp should not launch a feature like this, because it also exists in other service providers like Telegram or Signal. The problem, as indicated by several of the points made by the other panelists itself, is the financial incentive structure in which each function is offered as a revenue stream, which may be a direct payment from the user. आपको इतने पैसे देने, you have to give so much money to reserve this username, or it may be free, but to then get it verified, you need to upload a government ID and pay a subscription of about 200, 300 rupees, or even 50 rupees to start out with. Or given that it's they're wanting for mass adoption, they may say 10 rupees, right? And you may sign up for that 10 rupees. For 5 years, it's for 10 rupees. And after 5 years, they may say that these are these added functionalities like spam filters, things like that. Now you pay us 100 rupees. So I would say it's the financialization of this service which will hurt people the most. And people who do not opt into that, yes, of course, there will be cybercrime. The second thing, I think, in terms of the solutions, as Jitin itself is saying, are right now being addressed symptomatically through the lens of censorship and expansion of censorship power under the IT Act. Something is blocked, something is taken down, or a criminal complaint is lodged or filed against some other law. Now, does that change the architecture of a platform? Is it studied, or is there a clear legal or regulatory power to assess, firstly, what are the kind of platform features which are there, which are launched? What is the kind of harm they cause? What is the kind of small technical tweaks which may be necessary if it is indeed resulting in that kind of harm? And here I would say we do not have a digital competition bill. There's a bill. We don't have a Digital Markets Act. We didn't have a Digital Services Act. We have none of these modern legal instruments which are present in different forms in various countries. The Data Protection Act is not going to gain enforcement till next year. These features are already being launched. And once launched, once assimilated, once on scale adopted by society, are very difficult to change. Now, the point which goes towards is that quite often we have said that regulation will kill innovation. Regulation will be a barrier to technology-based businesses. But we do need some friction today, given the high amount of cybercrime which ordinary people are being subjected to. I would say some friction is sometimes good for us to also pause before our decision making, right? So I would say, Sanket, that we need to urgently look at this WhatsApp feature, but much more broadly, the digital marketplace today, from the view that regulation may not be actually a bad thing.
Okay, Jitin Jain, your way out of this.
I think
what are the solutions that come to your mind?
Yeah, so I think one thing I would propose, maybe I'll write to Apar, and through his organization, maybe in the form of recommendation, he could write to Ministry or WhatsApp. Look, if the purpose is to create some sort of privacy shield for the users to avoid their numbers from being circulated unwarrantedly, it's a welcome step. But to avoid the risk of impersonation and name squatting, one of the things you could do without getting anybody's ID or government ID or any further private details, you could simply reveal whether the number behind that username is based out of what geography, like country. Like you could say that this WhatsApp username is created using an Indian number or a Pakistani number. I want to know if somebody is calling from Samsung TV repairs, whether it is a guy calling from Samsung factory in Noida or some scammer calling from Rawalpindi. How do you do that? It's very simple. इसमें कोई आपको government ID भी नहीं देना. And if the purpose is to create privacy shield, this is a very small, technical innovation you could make. Like Twitter is already doing it. If you want to see some Twitter accounts, they started telling you whether they are based off India, Pakistan. Later, they had this pics of South Asia to create the political mess. But I mean, in a WhatsApp where people are, sharing private conversations and there is a lot of trust, you have to understand that, once the username comes on WhatsApp, people will not attack the username or mobile number. They will attack trust, because WhatsApp carries immense amount of trust. And trust me, Sanket, if you get 10 spam SMSs a day, you don't even open your SMSs. But if somebody sends you 10 spam on WhatsApp, before sleeping, you will definitely open that message, because it is too private, it is too personal. People do open that if they're not miss something very important. So my suggestion would be that, if you are making username completely as a security or a privacy feature, then allow people, the recipient of that message from a person who's only exposing his username, to know the number behind that username belongs to what geography or what country. This will help avoid some sort of impersonation and name spotting risk.
Do you feel, Mr. Kanish Gaur, that for a for-profit company like Meta, they are doing this for profit? Eventually, they are going to launch a safety for. Let me give you an example. Airtel. It sliced 5G data and said that for my premium postpaid customers in the existing 5G pool, you will be 5G priority. You will get better connectivity. Similarly, in Meta, are we looking at a situation where if you want safety features from WhatsApp, then you will have to cough up a little extra. You will have to give some more money. And thus staying on that platform, staying safe on that platform will mean that you will have to give more money. And we know they have had a history of charging money either not directly, then indirectly through advertisements. Is there a premium model which they're working on?
A lot of technology adoption happens through freemium. So what we have been using so far is freemium services of WhatsApp. And companies like Meta are now pushed by investors to show returns. So they would look at monetizing, whether it is by selling metadata through business accounts or creating more premium services where customers are pushed up the value chain to cough up a little more. That option would be there. But that doesn't mean that one is allowed to play away with the digital identity of people. The digital identity, the privacy of individuals is a fundamental right. So, because it is a freemium service, you can't have a platform to not care about your privacy. That doesn't look right. Specifically, when you have got different standards in different parts of the world. Can that be done in EU, where you have GDPR? Can that be done in California, where you have data protection law? Now, this country is right now implementing a data protection rule. We are trying to have a data protection board come in the place. At this point of time, are we actually questioning ourselves? Does the platform have the right to decide what kind of privacy features or functionality it needs to have? And the users now need to cough up to safeguard their privacy from cyber criminals. I don't think so that's the right precedence to look at things.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Enriching discussion, learnt a lot. Let's just hope that the government too is listening, because on the face of it, this appears like a crackling feature. Amazing feature. Book your username today. Go find. By the way, how many of you got your first name? I didn't. I didn't get my full name also. Apar, did you get Apar Gupta?
No, I just got my handle. I reserved it. I don't use WhatsApp a lot anyway. So,
how lovely.
To me.
What about you, Jitin?
I have not even tried it.
Okay. And you, Kanishk? Haven't tried? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So the gentleman here, yeah, you've got to update the app. That is how you will get it. But thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure with all this information, people will be a little bit more aware, and that is basically the idea of a discussion like this. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Sanket. Thank you, Federal.
Thank you.
Thank you.